been chatting for the last probably 5 minutes. So now we're recording.
Now? Like now?
Right now, I hit the button. We're recording.
Okay. All right.
I see you're wearing a nice hat. Is that a Colorado hat? Yeah, that looks cool. I like that hat a lot.
Little Colorado guitar hat.
And is that a Colorado shirt that you're
It,
wearing while
it
you're at
actually
it?
is. It's a Colorado shirt.
Nice biking shirt. You used to bike. You still bike?
Of course. I think my foot's broke, Doug.
How did you do that?
A few days ago I was back I was out on the road bike and I guess I was getting on it kind of hard and my right foot, uh the side of it, like pinky toe downside, um, right in the middle, has this big bump out now because and it's hurting really bad. I thought at first I just somehow like I had a little tiny like just a little speck of like a blood vessel pop, and I thought that's why it was hurting. But um,
Oh,
now like I don't know. It seems like over the last couple of days it's gotten harder to even walk on it. Like if it wasn't on the side of my foot, I probably wouldn't be walking on it. But it's like on the very side
mm,
edge, so it hurts just
yeah.
enough. Yeah. Anyway, but
Maybe
hey, Clancy.
you just need to rub a little dirt in
Yeah, I got that shirt too. Rub some dirt on it. I think I wore that on here
it.
today.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Clancy just
Oh,
Clancy just came out to say hi. He's looking at me like, "How come you're not throwing me the frisbee right now and you're talking to your brother?"
yeah. What's up, Clancy? Haven't
That's
seen you in a
Uncle
while, buddy.
Doug, buddy, is talking to you.
Yeah,
He knows I'm
you
sitting
know
up on
me.
this high chair, kind of. I was down there on the couch next to him, so he was going to be bringing me the frisbee the whole time anyway. But now he's just chilling, looking at me funny, like you suck because you're not throwing me the frisbee.
Right on. Oh, I lost you. I couldn't hear you there. There you are.
Yeah, got my mic on today, but I don't know if it's like directly even being used. What's going on? How's your week going?
So week's going a little crazy. Your mother. I had to go get her a chase yesterday, and I took it to her, and
Had to get her
she's
what?
all happy now. Chase lounge chair.
Oh, why did she need a chase
Wanted
lounge?
because she decided she wanted to sit and have her legs up instead of just a regular chair. So now she has a chase lounge,
Nice.
and ran her around a little bit, and other than
Oh,
that, between work and
I did see some kind of post talking about how great of a son you were.
well, yeah, I mean that's just to be known.
Anyway, anyway.
I never did get that shirt. I got to get that shirt that says number one son.
Right, right.
I figured I figured maybe my brothers would do that since I am the number one. You guys would hook me up and send me one, but never did happen.
Mm-hmm.
But
How's
other
the
than
weather
that,
there? You said. How's the weather going there? You said. Is there flooding over? Is the flooding
it,
done?
it man, it no, it's been super hot. But we have, I guess, like a cold front moving in. We're dropping into the 60s tonight,
The
and
super hot misery.
I think, so, yeah, the next several days are only supposed to be in the high 70s and the lows in the mid 60s. I think one night we even get into the 50s, high 50s for the night, in the middle of summer.
We're
So
going
it's a
camp.
little cool off period because we've been hitting the mid 90s for the
It's
last
nice
couple
and
of
cool
weeks.
out. It's nice and cool outside right now because it just rained and it looks like it's going to rain again. But we've been hitting
Yeah,
90s also in Monument, which is kind of not usual.
odd.
But we
Yeah.
I think it's we're gonna go camping this weekend. Don't know where yet, but I'm supposed to be picking that out instead I'm talking to you. But
Is
uh
it? Oh, is it just you and Stephanie, or are you taking the camper with the dog?
we'll be in the camper with the boys, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, can't
I did.
leave. You know, it's sad we haven't got the camper out much this year, but we took it to Salida a few weeks ago, and now we're gonna take it out again. But I think we're pretty much booked after that because like I got the wedding, Ryan's wedding, and then
Yeah, that's coming up
um,
quick.
coming up quick. We'll see you there. And then we're going back to Slovenia and Croatia in October. So
Yeah, we talked about that. Well, technically, we talked
we
about
did.
that on our last podcast.
That's still not up.
That,
So 15.
that never went up. That Skype went nuts on us. We tried to do Discord tonight. We couldn't,
Now would
figure
this
out
be
that. And
would this be episode 15B or is this 16?
no, 16. It's
Okay.
16 2.0. Because the last one was 16
Oh, the last one was 16. Okay.
that we didn't put up. That Matt is working on, and it's hilarious how he's piecing it together. Even if it doesn't work out right, I'm still gonna post it. I don't care because I'm posting it for the
Do it.
the 10-second segue. Because we were recording for a while, and all of a sudden I noticed we weren't recording, and it had stopped. And so I stopped Rich at that moment, and I said, "Okay, we're gonna record again." And so we hit the record. Well, we thought we had like 40 minutes on the first one, 38 and some change. And then we did like another 22 or something. Well, apparently on that first one, it only got like the first 15 minutes of what we talked about. And then it was just dead space.
Doug, I was having a problem. I don't know if you noticed because like I got this big glare in my glasses off the
Yeah,
front.
I see you keep moving around.
It's so now I'm doing now if I go back like this, there's no glare. Okay.
I lean forward and I don't have the glare.
Listen, I'm just see there's more glare. Now if I go this close, then there's not. But that's scary.
That's a little too close for me.
So you know what? I'm just gonna wing it and go with the glare and I don't even care. What?
Well, I say,
I'm gonna go with the glare and I don't care.
We talked about a lot of different things on episode 16.1 or 1.0, and now we're on episode 16.2.0, which is going to come out before the first one. So maybe we'll call that one episode 16B after this one goes up, because it'll probably go up for the other one.
Right.
I do have our technical guy working on that.
Dude, big news out of Camp Democrat today.
Oh, here we go. You're just going to jump right in, aren't you?
Well, I just thought we should mention it. Big news coming out of Camp Democrat. They picked a VP candidate.
Can I say, or I don't want to steal your thunder?
Well, I do have something to say, Doug. And
Okay.
I'm sure you do too. But it's kind of comical, and I think you know where I'm going here. I think you already know where I'm going. But they went to the old white boy. Let me just say something.
Yes.
The old white boy syndrome.
Yes.
Old white boy syndrome coming from the Party of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, otherwise known as the DEI, strikes again by picking a 60-year-old American politician, former school teacher, retired U.S. Army non-commissioned officer, governor of Minnesota. Very white dude with very white.
Where they had all the BLM riots.
Yeah, very white dude, very white pushy eyebrows. We're talking about the BML rights. They didn't pick. They could have picked another woman and had an all-female ticket. Because they're touting the all-female. We gotta have the first female president. Well, why not have an all first female ticket, Doug? So they could have done that, right? They didn't do that.
Yep.
And they didn't do that. Go ahead and say it. They didn't do that.
They didn't do it, Rich.
No.
They decided
so instead
to
of doing
go
that,
the same route they've been going.
Doug, instead of having like an all-female ticket, they could have did. You know what else they didn't do? They could have put.
What, Rich?
They could have picked another African American. Well, let me rephrase that. They could have picked an African American, and they would have had an African American on the ticket and a female.
You are pulling all the stops out on this.
They would have had an African American and a female on the ticket if they had done that. They didn't do that, Doug. Go ahead and say it. They didn't do that.
They didn't do it, Rich.
And then, Doug, they could have picked an Asian. They didn't do that.
No, I don't know this. This was it Tim Walz? Tim Walz? I don't know him, but when I saw the picture, I thought, "Oh my gosh, she chose Bernie Sanders."
Well, dude, they could have picked an Asian, like I said. They could have picked a Hispanic Latino. I was writing this down. They could have picked a Pacific Islander. They didn't do any of those, Doug.
Nope.
Here's another
No, they
thing they
didn't.
could have done. They already have an Indian on the ticket. They could have picked a cowboy to go with it. They didn't do any of those.
The
Crazy.
cowboy. I think that's the wrong kind of Indian. That,
Oh, my bad.
okay. I'm just gonna. You're on a roll, so I'm not gonna stop you at this point.
Maybe I got a little carried away there. Sorry, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the party of
And
diversity, equity, and
I-
inclusion strikes again. They
Yeah.
picked the old white dude. Let's get the old white dude in there.
And from what I hear, he's not only as, but maybe even a little more liberal than Kamala Harris.
So, yeah, I think it's I don't know what they're
And
trying to do.
and,
I don't
and
know. If
I tried to read a little bit about him today, but I really didn't find anything that he did good.
no.
And I always try to look for the good in people. So I did some searching to see what I could say good. Because I knew this was going to come up tonight. I knew you were going to say it because I was going to ask you about what your thoughts were on, JD Vance that Trump picked. But I have literally tried to find anything I can. And in my eyes, in my views, I can't find anything that he's done good. So,
Did you see the interview where his wife,
but
while he
I
was governor, in Minnesota's burning down, right, with the Floyd riots, and his wife said, "I could smell the burning tires. I kept the windows open as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening."
well, I also know that that his trusted financial advisor helped him in getting the installation of tampon dispensers in the boys' rooms
Dude,
in
this
Minnesota schools.
this guy's got arrest records for driving 96 and a 55, blew a 1.128. Sounds like something I would do. But I don't even know how this guy became.
Wait. Clarify. That was your past.
I don't even know. Right. I don't even know. But and then he repeatedly claimed he wasn't even drunk. I mean, that's something what a drunk would do.
Well,
but
I watched a video today where he left service. He bowed out of the National Guard right before they were going to be sent overseas. They interviewed one of the people in his platoon who ended up taking his place, and this guy was not a fan of his.
No.
And said that he avoided the war and got out, and everybody was talking about, in the last week or two, I've seen a lot of people saying that's a good reason not to let Trump be president because he got out of the draft or what have you. And I, of course, informed them that, there's been 14 presidents that have never served in the armed forces. And that Clinton himself also avoided the draft by saying he was going to join the ROTC, and then he never did. So I don't think that means anything. But this is a guy, there's a video circulating right now where this guy is sitting in front of the United States flag and the Minnesota flag. And he says, wait a minute, this isn't right. And he gets up and he removes the Minnesota flag and he puts another flag. You can't really see it. A lot of people are saying it looks like the Somalia flag. But I couldn't really tell which flag it was, and it doesn't really state, and he doesn't say. And then he sits down and he says, ah, yes, that's better. I'm torn on this one, man.
I don't want to, I know we try not to always talk politics. We've had some different podcasts that were politics, but right now I feel like we're in a spot where we have to talk about, this type of stuff. Dude, listen, Charlie Kirk came out and said, let's make sure America knows who you are. And I feel like it's time to not, for a long time, a lot of Republicans, a lot of conservatives, a lot of people, nobody's been saying anything because, you don't want to get labeled a racist, a white person, or but Charlie Kirk came out and said this today. This
You
is who
don't
this
want to
guy
be
is.
known as you don't want to be known as a non-white dude for Harris.
Right. This is what this guy's done. And this is all true stuff. You can look it up. This dude helped ignite the George Floyd riots, the worst country had seen in decades. While Minneapolis burned, he stalled on deploying the National Guard for an entire day, blaming the city for not submitting the right paperwork. He let his daughter leak the Guard's deployment plans online so that rioters would know how long they had to loot the city with impunity. And Minneapolis was just a war zone because of him. Just days after the attempted murder of Donald Trump, he called his supporters fascists. He called Donald Trump supporters fascists, egging on the same rhetoric speech that led him to being shot in the first place. He's overseen some of the most radical youth trans surgery laws in the country. Under his leadership, teenagers can get their breasts chopped off and get sterilized. And he's calling that healthcare. He's had the most radical abortion laws in the country, zero limits. Every year, 5 to 6 babies are born alive and then murdered legally under the laws that this dude supports. On immigration, he said you wanted to provide a ladder. He wanted to provide a ladder so invaders can come over Trump's wall. Just like Kamala. He doesn't care about the border. He oversaw the single worst fraud of the COVID era, feeding our future case. Thanks to his ineptitude at the Department of Education, criminals stole over $250 million of taxpayer dollars to spend on luxury cars, houses, and vacations. Also during COVID, he approved $500 million in hero pay for frontline workers, only to have 40% of that money go to people who are ineligible, in many cases, literally deceased. In the House, he was Pelosi's sidekick and did whatever the Democrats demanded. And he tries to disguise himself as a folksy Midwestern moderate. And in reality, he's a white male version, like you said a minute ago, of Kamala Harris, radical and undeserving to be in leadership. I mean, this dude's not a good dude. He's not a good dude.
No, and like I said, I tried to find anything because I always try to look for the good in people. So I tried to find, and I found that the quote unquote squad loves him. AOC and all the others are 100% on his side.
Did you go?
So he's won them over already.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, and I've seen pictures of him with some of them. One of those chicks, one of the squad members is a Minnesota congresswoman, right? Like she's So, yeah, if you, I've seen pictures of that already. Like, and I'm like, if you're well liked by the squad, then that's bad.
Well, and here in the last week or two, the rhetoric has become from the left side or Democrats or whatever you want to call liberals. It has been if you're a conservative or if you believe in morals and certain values, you're all of a sudden weird and creepy.
Yeah, weird. They keep saying weird over. Everybody's saying it.
Yeah,
dude. What
I saw where George Takei did that, and then he called anybody that's a conservative or Republican or right-leaning a weird and creepy person, and then not even 20 minutes after he posted that, somebody took his post and they put pictures of him fondling a naked guy on a talk show and smiling real big and said, okay.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird?
What?
Tim Walz. Tim Walz is weird, dude. That dude's weird. Tampons in the men's bathroom. Come on. In fact, dude, Vivek Ramaswamy came out today and said that we should be happy about the Walz pick because it's a massive gift to the Republicans. He's saying the media is trying to keep, trying to hand Kamala a race, and they are. All the media is like way behind her and trying to give it to her on a silver platter. But he's like, I guess she apparently refused to accept it because she picked this dude. Because there's a lot of things that we can go after on this guy. I mean, this isn't some
no.
He wants to make himself. She called him on the phone. I don't know if you saw this, and offered him.
Yeah, I saw.
And he's in a camouflage hat, trying to look Midwestern and folksy. And like Ramaswamy saying, I think he is a gift because he's got so much bad stuff that he's done that, I don't know what you've heard, but we don't know what to believe anymore in anything. We keep talking about that. But I've heard that there was other people that she wanted. You know, Josh Shapiro was being shopped around quite a bit, and even the
Yes, it
mayor of
was down
whatever
to,
came
yeah,
out and said,
I think 3 or 4 days ago, there was 6 of them, then down to 3, and then
but
down to 2 as of yesterday, which was
let me
Shapiro and
let me
this
ask
guy.
you this. Let me pose this thought to you, Doug. Did those people just not get picked? They didn't vet right? Because this guy, how did he vet right with all the crap in his background? Or did all those other politicians see being on a ticket with Kamala as political suicide, and they're like, I'm not gonna do that, dude. No, I don't want the job. Thank you. Give it to somebody else. No, I don't want to. Did she make 7 calls before Tim Walz? And they were all going, no, I don't think so. I'm good where I'm gonna go ahead and be where I'm at. You know, because hey,
Yeah,
let me tell you this:
I,
if Kamala would have called me and it gave me offered me the job, I'm gonna be, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, and I saw where the mayor of one of the cities that was burned in the BLM riots, he did an interview and he said he begged and called and um, Governor Tim Walz said, no, I'm not sending the National Guard. It's not going to happen. I don't know that it was about red tape, who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth.
Oh well, they
But
said
this mayor said he did everything he could and could not
they
get the help.
I don't know how true it is either. I wasn't there, but they said that the right paperwork wasn't handed in, so that's why he didn't give the guard
Uh,
because city's burning down, targets are getting raided, but yeah, we didn't have the nobody signed it on the dotted line right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and just.
I don't think you need paperwork at that point. I mean, how asinine.
I tell you,
I, I don't,
logically,
I don't, when
you
we
wouldn't
get
be.
hurricanes, I will say this, when hurricanes start destroying states, most of the time, whoever is the president at the time, they're not looking for red tape. They just automatically say, hey, we're sending the Red Cross, we're sending the National Guard, we're going to send you X amount of millions of dollars to help, take care of things and feed people, blah, blah, blah. The red tape's gone at that point. So
Right,
why are we worrying about you didn't cross your I's and dot your T's?
right. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So this guy was born in West Point, Nebraska, and he went into the National Guard at 17 and graduated college in 89.
Where did he go to college at?
He went to college at Chandron State College. Chadron. Chandron.
Yeah, I don't think they're
His
in the Ivy
wife,
League.
his wife Gwen and him moved in 1996 to Mankato, Minnesota, where he taught in a public school for more than a decade before he decided to enter politics. He has a master's degree from Minnesota State University. Um, he is the first vice presidential candidate on a Democratic ticket in 1964 who did not attend a law school.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm watching him right now as
He,
he signed it. I'm watching as he signed a law that provided driver's license for illegal aliens in Minnesota. And
yeah.
he wants
Yeah.
all of America to do the same. To have driver, yeah, let's let illegal aliens have driver's license.
Well, and for a guy that's trying to call himself Midwestern rural, he's already jumped on board with Kamala about gun control.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I don't even understand with her, like, this woman cannot talk unless she's got a teleprompter in front of her, and she still can't do it very well then, and she's cackling half the time. I'm done with
well,
this. What else
on
we got?
that, so on that, Trump was supposed to sit down with Biden in September, I believe, and have a debate on ABC News. And when Biden decided he wasn't going to run anymore because he's incoherent, um, Kamala apparently told Donald, "Well, let's do it. Let's just keep going." And Donald Trump said, "No, I'm not going to do it,"
Yeah,
and
it
he
is.
said,
Yeah,
"I'll do it,
agreement
but
wasn't.
I want to do it with Fox News." You know what? Here's the deal. Why don't you find one Republican and one Democrat person if that's how you want to do this? No
Right.
news channels. No news channels. Those two, the Republican and
Well,
the Democrat, sit down. They come up with the questions together as a pair, and then they mediate the whole thing. I believe in the turn off the mic so you can't hear the person talk after they're not supposed to be talking anymore. I believe in answering the question. And I don't care if it's a 9-hour debate. This is what you tell them. If you're asked a question, you're going to answer the question, or we're not going to go on until you do. No, no pussyfooting around it, going around the other way, whatever you want to do. You answer the question, or we don't move on to the next one.
right. And that reminds me, is the Democratic convention starting tonight? Was it tonight?
No, I think it's mid-August.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Well, no, I've said that quite a few times. I've been like, because it hasn't been fair on the Trump side. Like he's done them at CNN and this was going to be ABC, which he has a lawsuit out against George Stephanopoulos, and so it hasn't always been fair on his side. He's gone into hostile environments to do the debates, but I think it's ridiculous that if we end up there should be no way that we could end up not having debate. As the American people, we should demand a debate between the two candidates. I mean, it's always been done. There's no
yeah.
reason for it not to be done. We don't have COVID going on unless that
And
happens in another month.
so
Unless
you
that
realize
happens again.
she hasn't actually done one interview since she's announced
She's
her
not done a
run
presser.
for.
She's not done a presser. She's not done a press conference and not talked off mic except for when the hostages came back the other night, and she sounded like a complete buffoon when she was answering a couple questions there. But
Yeah.
and I'm just being realistic. I mean,
But
if that's
I
who they
mean,
want to run, that's who they want to run. But I'm just saying, the
and
woman
again,
came through.
I know you
She
don't
was
like, I know you don't like this, but I'm not saying Trump's the same, but this guy does the same thing sometimes, man. He goes off script and then he talks hugely, bigly. I
yeah, but he
mean,
can
he
still
says
carry.
things he shouldn't say.
I know, but he can still carry a conversation on, and at least he
Well,
can go
yeah.
off script. Hey, at least he can go off script and say something. She can't go off script and say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, be realistic on that. Like, did you see the thing I sent you today on the wokeism?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that does sum it up though. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, you're right. It 100%. But
Yeah,
just the side note for what you asked earlier, Democratic convention this year is August 19th through the 22nd.
19th through the 22nd. Okay, right. It's
Put
later.
it on your calendar.
Yeah.
You can watch it. But
Here's,
on
here's a guy
a
that said, here's a guy that said, screw the debate for the vice presidents. I just want to see who can change the oil in a car. Tim Walz or JD Vance. That's kind of funny. We should do that. Hey,
oh
there should be honestly, there should be like a cognitive test, and then just like one of those tests that like everywhere you went to work used to do, like where you answer, you do 100 questions, but they ask you the same question 10 times in different ways. Like what do you like an
yeah,
aptitude test or whatever.
aptitude, yeah.
Yeah. And we should do that. That should be like we should put that in the law, Doug.
Along with the other stuff we
Or
talked
hey,
about,
I don't know. Let's.
term limits.
I was gonna say something that would have got me in a lot of trouble, but I better not say it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we talked about on last week that we didn't talk about because it didn't come up. Um, the term limit thing, Biden's pushing this thing before he gets out of office that he wants term limits on the Supreme Court. And I'm for that. I'm 100% for that. I'm also for term limits on everybody else, on senators, on congressmen. I think it should be 2 4-year terms maximum, just like a president. And I'm also believe we should get rid of the lobbyists. I believe we should only pay them a small salary of 40 to 50 grand. See how they live on that,
Bro,
considering they only work
I don't even
179
know.
days out of the year.
what do we need a Congress for or a Senate? Because what do they do anyway? Like, they're interviewing all these people. Spitting on myself because I'm getting excited. Sorry. They're interviewing. Look,
Just
they're
don't spill
interviewing all
your
these
drink
people.
like you didn't do last week.
Hey, they're interviewing all. I did what? I was spilling my
I said,
drink.
don't spill your drink like you didn't do
Right.
last week.
Right. Well, look, they're interviewing all these people, right? For different things. They keep interviewing. Let's call that person to Congress for this. We're 3 weeks in now, Doug. In another week, on the 13th of August, this weekend, we'll have a month since the Trump assassination attempt. We know nothing other than the fact that it was an inside job. We know that. But but
You're being a conspiracy theorist.
well, 97-0. But as a matter of fact, so many conspiracy theories have come true. I'm trying to come up with some new ones. I don't even know what else to come up with. But hey, I mean, a month. We're gonna go into a month next week, and we're still not gonna know anything, or they're gonna not have any answers. Well, we just messed up. It was a big mess up. We're buffoons. We're just not smart. And like Congress calls these people up, and not just on this. For other things, they'll call people in front of Congress to answer this question and answer this question, and they'll look all smart, and they'll degrade the people, and they'll answer hard. They'll ask hard questions, and then what? Nothing ever gets done. Like, oh, okay, well, you lied to Congress, or you lied to the Senate, you lied to the Judicial Committee, you lied to the whatever committee. But okay, well, go have a good day. See you later. They don't do anything. So
and then the people asking, here's what you get told. Well, yeah, that cost the government $28 million to research all that. No, it costs the American people because our taxes just went up again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
But hey, should we move on to something different?
Let's do that.
Okay. I want to talk about something that didn't get put up, and it might get put up. I don't know. So this might be the second time you're hearing about it, but technically it's the first time. This guy named Justin G. You know this guy?
I do know that guy.
Did you see the video he put up, the big fish he caught? Video?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And fishing. Shorts and fishing.
Shorts and fishing.
If you don't follow him, go find him on YouTube, man. Fun to watch. Does a lot of fishing.
Sorry, I was working for a minute during our podcast, Doug.
I can't believe that. And he gets to have a beer every time he catches a fish. No, he told me it wasn't every time. It was only on certain occasions.
He wins a beer when he catches a trout.
So Jorts and Fishing, man, go check him out.
Jorts and Fishing. I gotta get out with him to go fishing and maybe be on his next video. Gotta get him over here.
That'd be cool.
Get him over here. You can be on one of ours.
Yeah, we can talk about fishing. Get off politics for a minute, and we can talk fish, and then we can talk about how big the fish was that you caught. And you can tell more lies. You're not even listening.
I'm listening.
Dude. But I noticed that I got called out from a few people that want to come and get on the podcast.
Who wants to come?
Well, I've got Jared Marler, who does a lot of fitness training. He talked to me about wanting to jump on the podcast.
Like he wants to like check out the guns, Doug. Which way's the gun show? What?
That way.
That way.
But so we're gonna look at trying to get him on here in the near future. I talked with Miss Ann's shop over in Potosi, Mel Emily, and she wants to know if we could come to a remote. I said, well, I probably could. I don't know if you would be there. I don't know if you could pull that one off or not.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see if we can't figure out how to do that. See if we can get you on it too.
I could be
Talked
there.
with
I could be
Dave.
there in heart. I could be there in heart and mind.
Yeah, there you go. I talked with Dave Baxter. He wants to come on. He wants to talk a lot about Star Wars. If I want to do one on Star Wars, so
Well,
we got a few people that are interested.
I was telling one of my clients about it. I think I said, she's been wanting to do her own, and then she was like, well,
Yeah,
maybe because you guys were supposed to have 3 to begin with, because I told her about the one guy that's not there because it's loud, loose, and last. And she
so
was like, well,
Lucid.
maybe I can be the female perspective and come over and record with you guys. I was thinking about that though, but Doug, at the time I can't figure out how to do a split screen. How are we going to figure out how to do a triple? Oh wait, no, she would just be sitting right next.
Yeah, you would just have you both in the shot. It's a
Yeah.
okay.
I just don't know. Like Steph comes home and there's like this girl sitting by me and recording. I don't know. She might not like it, but.
Well, that's probably why you would talk to her about it first before you just do it.
Oh yeah.
And say, hey, I'm going to invite so and so over.
Right.
Oh, good heavens.
Right. Oh.
You scared me sometimes, man. You scared me.
All right. Steph just texted me and said she's
Look, she knew you were thinking about something.
Right. She texted me. She said she's just now leaving work, so that's fine because we've only got about another 20 minutes anyway, right? 20,
yeah, we're at about 37 right now. So
hey, Doug,
that gives.
You want to? I know we were talking about this before. Like we were talking about bad drivers, and I've
had a week and a half on bad.
Hey, I just saw a wreck on my way home today. Sunday we were sitting down having some Jersey Mike's with a couple of people from church, husband and wife that we know from church. They were talking about how her sister had gotten in a bad motorcycle accident and is been in a wheelchair since. And actually I saw a guy that's another client of mine that was in a wheelchair at church that got in a bad motorcycle. He was a surgeon back in Nashville, and got in a bad motorcycle accident. I saw this accident today on our way home from Jersey Mike's after talking to them about this bad motorcycle accident that her sister had. You know what we saw? A truck and a motorcycle. Another motorcycle hit a truck, or a truck hit a motorcycle. I don't know, one or the other.
Wow.
But,
well, I've had a week and a half of driving incidents, watching people. Followed this person for probably about 8-9 miles that consistently went over the line and back, over the line and back, over the line. And you could see through their back window, and you could see he was on his phone the whole time. While driving. I'm heading up to the city the other evening. And when I get out on the highway, I always set the cruise at about 72 and just let it roll. And I come up behind a guy in his car and move into the fast lane to go around him. And next thing you know, he starts keeping pace with me. And then he fell back a little bit. Then he came back up and kept pace with me. And Gina looks at me and I'm like, I got it on cruise control at 72. This is him. This went on for probably 3 or 4 miles. I sped up, which I normally don't do, but I sped up, went a little over the speed limit, moved in front of him, and then he rode my tail end for like the next 2 miles, no matter what speed I did. I sped up, slow down, and he stayed right on my tail where I couldn't even see his headlights on his car.
Wow.
Till I finally just let off the gas until I slowed down enough that he went around me and he just took off.
Maybe he didn't understand the car, Doug.
But I'm going to tell you, that drives me insane, Rich. It drives me insane, Rich.
Dude, I get it. But maybe he was driving
speed.
a car that wasn't his, and that's a common thing with bad drivers. They're driving a car. They don't
Well,
understand. They don't know anything about it. They don't know the features on it. They don't, you know, they don't realize a brake exists.
so
You know, I don't,
here's what I don't understand. I don't understand these people that are out there buying 50, 60, $70,000 vehicles and they're not getting blinkers. How in the world are you driving off of a lot with a vehicle that does not have turn signals? Is it even possible?
no.
But
There's
either they don't have them or they just don't use them.
yeah, well, there's that. There's just a lot of bad drivers out there. Let's just face it. Like, there's people that don't. Well, a lack of anticipation. You know what I'm saying? Bad drivers, bad road drivers react. They don't anticipate. You know, like me, I'm always looking around. I'm seeing every situation. I'm seeing what's happening.
Reactive instead of proactive, yes.
Right, right. I'm
I'm
seeing what's
very
happening. You know, like this guy in front of me tonight at the light when this truck, there was this accident right down here by the St. Clair, about a mile and a half from my house, and the dude in front of me is at the light. He's looking all around, looking at the light, looking at the track, looking at the wreck and all that. The light turned green. I had to honk my horn. I don't usually do that. I usually just wait and let them be, you know, like, hey, yeah, that thing's green. It's green. You should follow the
Oh
sign.
man.
Know your road. Follow the sign. But that's the problem too, dude. When you're talking about bad drivers, half the time people
Yeah.
they're not relying on they ignore the signs. They ignore the signs of trouble. They ignore signs, period. Stop signs, you know, green sign, you know, light signs, red stop signs, yellow caution. You know, I'm riding my bike in my neighborhood. Sometimes I'm almost getting ran over because people are running stop signs in the neighborhood trying to
Yep.
get somewhere fast, dude. You know, everybody's always in a hurry.
Oh,
Or if they're not in a hurry, they're on these things, dude.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I see so much of that along with, especially at the stoplights. At the stoplights, they'll pick up their phone and get on their phone, and they're sitting there, and then the light turns green, and I'm sitting behind them, and I'm like, light's green, light turned green, light is green. You can go now. Let's go. Light's green. Okay, now we're yellow.
We just talked about Tim Walz giving licenses to illegal aliens who've never driven in our country. You know, uh, you know, there's so many bad techniques out there that, you know, I don't think the younger generation, you know, Gen Z or whatever, I don't think they grew up by their dad teaching them how to drive and stuff. And like, they're just not as good as drivers. You know,
No,
I mean,
no, they're not. No.
I'm sorry,
But I'm seeing it.
I'm gonna lose our Gen Z audience because of that. But
Well, I was going to cover for you there. I was going to say I don't think it's just Gen Z because
but
ages,
Doug,
men, women,
This goes along with
cats,
driving.
dogs.
This goes along with driving. But can I say something? One of the things that really, really ticks me off is sloppy parking.
Oh man. Ooh, we
I mean,
dashed last weekend.
keep it between the lines, bro.
We dashed last weekend, and I don't know how many restaurants we had to pull into to pick stuff up where people were sitting over the line
It
and all just oh
it bothers me a lot of the time. You know, I drive a 2018 Tacoma with a 3/8 lift on, but a lot of times it bothers me getting into places. Um, you know, because everything's so tight now anyway. You know, but I always 5 point it. You know, if I have to, you know, but I'll pull into the lines. You know, I get in between the lines. You know, I don't leave my driver's side over hugging the white line on this side or my passenger side hugging the white line on this side. I get in the middle. You know.
yeah.
Yeah. And then the next idiot
And
next to me, it pull all the way to his right side to where I can't get out or get into my truck. You know, sloppy parking.
on a side note, I don't know if he listens. I saw him recently when our mom was in the hospital because that's where he worked. But our good buddy Jeff Cooley, Mr. Jeff Cooley, and
Jeff,
his lovely
Jeffries.
his lovely wife Tina celebrating a 30th anniversary today. So
I was the
shout out
best
to
man at
them
their
if
wedding.
yeah. Well, there you go. Today's their
There you go.
30th anniversary.
Were you there?
So I That was 30 years ago, dude.
I remember.
Yeah. Because you were in the wedding.
I
Give
was
me a
the best
break.
man because
I was in Jim Barton's wedding.
me and Jeff had
I
made this
remember that
pact.
one.
Me and Jeff had made this pact that I would be his best man and he would be mine. One of us didn't live up to
Follow
that.
through.
One of us didn't follow through. But I'll tell you this.
Ah,
I'll tell you this, Jeff Cooley. If I get married again, friggin' yawn.
yeah, okay. All right.
I owe him a best man position.
Yeah, well, we're
And
going to
probably
hold
this-
you to that because
Probably this.
if this
late-
thing is,
probably, probably this late in his life, he probably didn't think he'd be a best man ever again.
yeah,
So if
well,
I get married, if I find a lucky girl somewhere,
yeah. Oh, wow.
dude, I
Dude,
keep saying
hey.
things on these podcasts. I've said things on the podcast towards the end of them, like 14 of our 16 times, just to see if she's watching, and she's not watching.
It's gonna be the Loud
I know
Loose
she
and
was-
Laughs with Doug and
She watched the
Doug and
first 4 or
Stephanie.
5 because it was during ski season, and we would listen to them on the way up to go skiing. And I think since
Yeah.
those first 4 or 5 or whatever, 6, whatever, I remember the very first one you did on
Well-
driving. We watched in a swimming pool up in Breckenridge while it was snowing.
Yeah.
And I was
And
like,
it was a short one. It was like 30 minutes.
yeah, it was a short one. You're in a hotel room. I think you were wearing that bathroom
Yeah.
shirt.
You know
But-
what? I think I was. Look at that.
I don't know why.
Coming around.
I don't know why I just remembered that, but I just remember that for some reason. But it was so
Well-
funny, dude, because I was like, I think he needs somebody to bounce off with. And we'd already talked about
Well,
me being, us doing it. We'd already talked about us doing it together. We just hadn't
yeah,
finalized
yeah.
the plans yet.
But that was just a 30-minute rant about bad drivers. But you know what's going to happen? I'm going to ask you. I'm going to text you and say, "Hey, you ready to record?" And you're going to say yes. And I'm like, "Okay, calling you now." I'm going to dial up, and it's going to boom, boom, boom like it does on my end. And then boom, the screen's going to pop up, and I'm going to look, and I'm going to be like, "Hi, Steph. Where's Rich?" And she's going to say, "I'm doing the episode tonight. Rich isn't going to be here." And after about the 4th time of her doing that, I'm going to be like, "So how's Rich doing, Steph?"
Yeah. I don't know. Well, Doug,
You have to
and
call
that brings me
48
to another
hours.
bad driving thing: anger, vengefulness, and righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Bad road drivers get angry with people, and often they use their cars to display their anger. Their horns, their swerving, or this
Wait,
anger.
so what you're saying is they use it as an assault weapon?
It's never. I'm saying it's never okay to use your car to express anger. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying they're using their car as an assault weapon, and if
Right.
we're banning all assault weapons,
Right.
then we should be getting rid of cars.
Yeah. Because if somebody's swerving at
I'm
me or
just throwing
somebody's
that
like
one out
using
there.
their car as an assault weapon, what am I going to do with my truck?
I know.
I'm gonna reach
Yeah,
around and
you
get my
know.
gun. No.
Oh,
That's what I'm gonna do with
Hey.
my truck. I had hurt my baby.
But-
Hey, I love my truck, dude. That truck's not gonna get hurt. Somebody is.
But on a side note of us doing the podcast, and when our third person comes on or you disappear and Stephanie gets on, I do want to say that
I don't think she was.
I have been trying.
She asked me if I was gonna be done before she got home.
I
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have been trying to interact with all of our sites. I posted a little short to YouTube today. If you want to go look at it,
Okay.
a couple comments already on it. It was like a 15-second short. I've looked at a few things, and like one of the things I noticed, Tree of Elements. We've talked about them before. Remember Tree of Elements that you couldn't ever say right. Anyway,
No, but I gave him a great idea to sell a squatty potty.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're doing it yet. But
no, but they posted something that says how to support a small business without purchasing a thing. Comment on their post
right.
regularly, even if it's just an emoji. Share their post. Instead of liking, use the heart or the wow, and this helps their page be seen on Facebook. So I
Right.
don't know if
Even
that's
if-
true or not, but
Even
I
if
didn't
you're not seeing
know
the post, share.
heart or the wow help share. Do what?
I said even if you're not seeing their post, share it anyway.
Go look for it. Yeah. go look for it, then share it.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing theirs right now while we're recording. So I'm throwing it up there for them.
Boom.
Tree of Elements. Go see them.
And
Blackbird Strut.
ask them,
That's another one.
When you do go see Tree of Elements, ask them if they have any squatty potties for sale.
Squatty potties. Ask for the squatty potties. Oh boy. We'll see. But yeah, I'm wanting to do a lot more of that when we do these. I want to have
Yeah.
a little shout out time, and I'm going to try and post some stuff where I'll ask people if they want to shout out, let me know on their business. And if they say yes, then we'll give them a little shout out on here. I know we're not big. I know we're not massive, but we do shoot up there to the different sites of Amazon Prime, YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Facebook, Twitter. We're on X, and we're on Discord. Figure out how to use it.
We haven't done that yet.
We tried tonight and we couldn't figure it out. We got to watch each other and we couldn't figure out if you can actually record. Somebody told me we could and said it was one of the better ones to use, but I don't see where the record button is like you have with Skype that we've used.
So let me say something.
And I'm looking at getting us some more merchandise, and I might be hooking up with one of our shops that are local here to get some stuff printed and be able to give out and give away. I do have our new stickers, and I have some of the old stickers. If anybody, I even posted that on Facebook today, and not anybody took me up for stickers, Rich. Nobody wanted stickers.
I just saw that
I asked
earlier before we started this that you're recording tonight. Shelly Clark said that she's behind on some episodes. Hopefully soon she'll get time to tune in. Well, everybody needs to tune in and shout it out. We'll shout it out. But yeah, I need to do the same thing with you, like you're doing, because you're promoting more than I am. But I got some stickers out here. I don't have the new stickers that have the QR code, right? I just have the ones you sent me the first time.
Yeah, I'll send you some of the QR
codes.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying,
I got about 50 of them.
I'm just saying, like some of the places out here have bulletin boards. The coffee shop, my work does.
Okay.
King Supers or Shop and Save, whatever. Like, you put up a grocery store bulletin board. Just put those stickers everywhere, man.
I will. I'll get you a few. I'll send them. There's a few out here. I'll look for them and start hanging them up. And
yeah, that's all. And I'm gonna
But I've got a ton of them that we're not going to use anymore.
Just go through news while you're talking. I didn't see this today, but Kelly Harrington for Ireland, gold.
Oh, yeah, she took the gold, huh?
She's an actual female boxer. It's not really showing her, but
yeah,
she's in a different weight category than those two other guys, but yeah, she won gold. Ireland, from I think from like 1960 to like 95, Ireland only won like 4 medals. In this Olympics, they've got like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9. I don't know. They're doing good though. Good.
Yeah. There's there's another guy. I don't know. I think he watches every now and then. I don't know if he's watched all of them, but his name's Kyle Lindsay. He does podcasts too. He does a thing called Live Sessions at the Underground. If you haven't, I watched a few of his. He interviews a lot of artists, like local artists. Like he has Raylan Winnick, which is a good buddy of mine, Dustin Winnick's daughter, that's going to be coming on there. That's an upcoming guest. Good country singer. So if you haven't done it, go look them up. Live Sessions at the Underground or Kyle Lindsay, and give him a follow too.
Who did you say is a country guy?
Oh, girl, Raylan Winnick.
What's his name?
Raelyn.
And
Her name. I think we need to get you hearing aids.
Where's he at? No, I need the headphones and the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said he's where?
Raylan, her.
Her. Raylan Winnick. Nah, I don't know. I'm so confused right now. We were doing so good until then.
We were doing it was we were literally 5 minutes away from an hour. We made it that far.
Raylan
Winnick.
Yeah, yes. Dustin. You said related to Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin's daughter.
Dustin's daughter. She's a country singer.
Yeah. Okay, you're there now. It only took you like 7 minutes to get there, but you did it. You pulled it off.
Doug, speaking of, I'm gonna pull out. Do you remember the band Smokey?
Band Smokey. Does not ring a bell.
They were like in the 70s, I think, and they were.
Well, then Howie Lewis would probably know it.
They had a song called "Living Next Door to Alice."
Like Alice in Wonderland or Alice Cooper?
No, just Alice. You know, we used to live next door to an Alice.
Well, yeah, Alice Simhoff.
Yeah, where's she at now? You ever did? Is she?
Mom. I think Mom talks to her every now and then.
Does she?
But
anyway, this song's called "Living Next Door to Alice." It's by the band Smokey, and then years later, this other guy came out and like redid the song, and then everybody would say who is Alice. You know, do you remember that at all? No. I can't. The song pops up on Facebook for me the other day. I think somebody in Ireland put it up or something, and I can't quit listening to this song. It puts you in such a great mood right now, good spirits. But so then I picked up the guitar tonight and played it for the first time because I was like, oh my god, I just love this tune so much that I just got to play it, you know. So join us next week where I'll play "Living Next Door to Alice" live.
Oh, all right. I'm reading the lyrics of it right now.
Well, you got to listen to it because the lyrics probably doesn't do it justice. It's one of those classic late 70s, you know, whatever, early 80s kind of chill songs.
Smoky.
But you listen to it. I don't know if it'll do the same for you, but you listen to it once and it makes you want to listen to it like 5 more times in a row. So
I'll listen to it when we get off here because if I played it right now, you wouldn't even hear it anyway.
Right.
Because of
I was listening to it before I went to church the other morning on Sunday, and that's the first time I remembered the song because it popped up, and I was like, I just kept listening to it over and over.
Okay.
But next week,
I'll listen to it.
Next week, I'll play.
Next week,
set up.
Tune in, folks.
Next week, I'll be back down in the basement, maybe, and I'll plug in, I'll amp up, and I'm gonna sing.
Well,
"Living Next Door to Alice."
Depending on when we do ours, if the weather's nice, I might just go out to the deck for the first time. It ain't, 128 degrees.
I can go outside and play "Living Next Door to Alice" too.
Let the neighbors hear. Listen to the dog bark.
I no longer live next door to an Alice, but so anyway.
We can do it in memory.
Right.
Anyway. All right. Well, I think that wraps us up for another podcast, episode 16.
This song's not about a hot babysitter, but Alice.
She was a very very beautiful lady.
The babysitter, Alice. When she babysitted. I don't know, dude. I was like,
is that why you like this?
I don't know, dude. No, the song's just listen to the song afterwards, man. It's just got a great song.
I will.
Great little
and with that being said, this is Loud, Lucid, and Laughs. I'm Doug Boyer, and this is
not Tim Waltz.
No Tim Waltz. Rich James. And as our lawyers say, and I've got to figure out how to do that, and I'm going to do it, but as our lawyers say, tell us we have to say that, the thoughts and opinions that you hear on this podcast are our own and no other entities and blah, blah.
I'm thinking, Doug, if you use the tune the Smokies have with "Living Next Door to Alice," we could write a song about what the lawyers say.
That wouldn't be copyright infringement, would it?
Like, I don't know how to share, but I guess I have to because they're gonna make me do it if I, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
We'll do some.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. And if you do watch this, and you better watch it, then give us a shout out. Let us know that you watched it, and ask for some stickers so we can send some out to people.
And if
I
you're
don't
like
mind
Shelly
doing that.
Clark and you're or Stephanie Basuena, if you're 8 episodes behind, try to catch up. There's some
Yeah,
good
yeah.
There's some good ones in between.
You've missed some good ones out there.
Get in
Yeah,
between the bookshelves, and
and
there's some good ones.
and and don't pick and choose. Watch them all. Don't pick and choose. Don't be that person.
Even if you have to do like 10 or 15 minutes at a time, and you can't do the whole hour at once.
Yeah. Listen to it in the car. All right, folks. Have a great one. We'll talk to you later.